Yes, good afternoon to you, Hazel. Well, just looking at Ronnie there, I think you'd be pleased with the first 4 frames. He played it tight, but when he did get in, as usual with it, he looked like winning a frame in one visit.
Yeah, he's been sensational in the break building department this week, and Mark Selby would have been pretty pleased to hang on to his coattails, I think, in that opening first session. I enjoyed that little talk about the maximums during the interval with the boys there and Ken Doherty. I made one the round before the television stage in the UK Championship and got 5,000. The next day it would have been 100,000. Always a little premature.
Well, you said it, Willie, not me.
This is a tempter for Mark. The red that's on the back cushion is just causing a problem. There's a gap between the black and the red to go around the back of it, but if you get into it too much, you might kiss the red, so it's got to be played carefully. Well, he's gone all out for the black, and what a great shot. Well played. Well played.
Yes, a terrific pot. As you say, the danger of that red near the top cushion, so they decided to screw across the face of the black. It goes without saying he's got to make the most of every opportunity, particularly, as John Parrott said in the first half of the match, just to make Ronnie aware that he's there, and if Ronnie makes any mistakes, he'll jump on him. Now, how's your luck? It's not bad. Choice of reds.
8.
And the reds nicely spread. So he certainly took the ball by the horns there. Didn't hold back when potting the black.
Nine.
Another red spalling things here. The red on the side cushion spalling the natural angle from yellow to go for choice of 3 reds. The 2 to the left of the pink and the 1 to the right of the pink. So that's the reason he's taking the brown. The yellow would have been the ball bar for that red being on the cushion. Blessed with an amazing amount of cue power now, Mark Selby. Since he changed his action and got a lot closer to the cue ball,
13.
He's developed so much
Turn
more
the volume
power.
down from your A-pieces a little bit. Thank you. We can hear him.
Yeah, just to
14.
expand on what Willie was meaning, Mark was one of these players that when he feathered or addressed the cue ball, he was quite a distance away. He just didn't feel he was getting through the cue ball enough. But by getting close now in his address position,
19.
when he does bring the cue back and deliver it, he's getting through the cue ball, and of course you get more action.
20.
But his main attribute, Willie, has proved over the last 21 months, is his temperament.
Always had a great temperament, even as a junior player. Playing at my club in Leicester, he was always a player that you would find very hard to beat. Blessed with a wonderful temperament and a fabulous safety game. And it wasn't until he changed his action and started finding how to break build along with the top players, I thought he would ever rise to the stardom he has now. But I've said many times on commentary in the last couple of years, he's now capable of winning every tournament he plays in, purely because now his break building is, it can compete. That's the key thing.
26.
He couldn't compete before.
27.
Now I don't know whether that was a heavy contact. He's asking for the cue ball to be clean, so maybe it was, but he's not on the black. Certainly not as he would like, and as we saw there when the cue ball made contact with the object ball, there was a little jump in the air, took all the pace out of it. Well, he's taking it on, but this is tricky.
Mark Selby.
It's a pity,
27.
because after the initial opening red, he had the table at his mercy, That bad contact has put him back in his seat.
Well, this is the missed black. You can see it was even too thin, never set off in the pocket. Ronnie's got the relatively more straightforward red down the right-hand side, but it's such a big pocket. The one down the cushion's not too bad to play and off the black, but he's taking the slightly more difficult red, but it will avail obviously perfect position.
One.
You saw Ronnie actually grimace a little bit there, John. I don't know whether he was trying to flick a red away from those 3 reds to make another red available, but he wasn't happy with the position.
Yeah, well, I think he'd like to play a cannon on those reds just under his hand. Can he get into the cue ball enough? He could. And he's got a red to the left centre, and I don't think he has to do a lot with the cue ball to get back on the black.
It appears that he can't just drop this in plain ball to get on the black. He's having to play with a little bit more pace, and that's the reason he's missed it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 8.
It's the first relatively easy ball I think he's missed in this match.
Well, the reds just around the pink are not available. He's had a look at this red along the top cushion, but surely that's not an option. That's too difficult. The red's up towards the balk end in the open, possible, but nothing easy. Playing a red to the right centre here. The one on the right-hand side of the table obviously can just get through to it. Doesn't have to do much to be on the black, but difficult. Played it well.
One.
I'd say nicely on the black as we see that red going in the middle, but it's the red near the top cushion that's causing him a slight problem. He's just got to avoid the kiss on that red. Or if he doesn't, he could run out of position. It just made it a little bit awkward, that red being there.
8.
Yes, he took a chance, didn't he? Played the slow shot with just a trace the left-hand side. He was trying to kiss that outside red full ball. The fact that he's called it half ball has left him a choice of 2 pots, both of which are not straightforward. A full ball kiss would have left him absolutely perfect.
Jan Verhaas has called a touching ball, but it doesn't affect the shot. No red, he's playing into the right middle. Hampered cueing. Well, he made certain it was the red, but you wouldn't want to be playing this black too many times. This is tough.
Well, it's decision time, isn't it? Do you play the difficult black or do you play the safety? He's looking to see if we can get through to the green. The green's the ideal ball he'd like to play and leave the white tight on the ball cushion, but I don't think he can see enough of the green to do that. If he played the black, it's one of those you'd probably get 5 or 6 out of 10, so it's decision time if he decides the black. Doesn't appear to want to entertain it. If you can see the green full ballish, you can just run through and leave on the cusp. You can see there, you can only see it, well, 16th of a ball, so he may have to play the blue. Got to find the top cushion here to cover those reds with the green. Oh, he's got a kick and there'll be the gap. The gap will appear, I think.
Mark Selby 9.
Didn't get through to the cushion. Well, obviously rolled just enough to make the brown the snookering ball. There it is.
Well, I'm certain Ronnie had in his mind when he played that red he'd be careering into the pink and the other red, so ball's nicely spread now, and even though Mark Selby has a 28-point lead, he's got to be very careful here, because that won't last for long if he makes a mistake in the safety. Well, the main intention of that shot was to get the cue ball back to the balk end. Now it only works if you get close to the pot, which he did, rattle of the jaws, so he's not left anything for Ronnie. Nothing easy, that is.
Looks like he's playing around the back of the red on the side cushion and trying to send the white up near the green off 2 cushions, maybe 3. Just a little bit pacey.
Yeah, good line, but as you say, just a little bit too much pace. But I don't think he's left anything. Well, maybe the red closest to the top cushion will cut to the left corner, but I feel as though if he's playing this, he'll have to play with a touch of right-hand side, and that makes this pot more difficult. Well, he's playing it plain ball. And he could play it plain ball and avoid the kiss on the other red. Now, how's your luck? Not great. It's a good pot, this. A pot that he probably wouldn't have attempted if Ronnie had got a better length with his safety. Now, can he come off the balk cushion here, cushion first, and just nestle up behind the green? Well, he's not looking at that. But you'd think here a snooker would really swing the frame in his favour. He's had a look at coming off the balk cushion first and nestling behind the green, but when he looked at it, a little shake of the head.
It's funny there, Ronnie's just jumped up out of his seat, A, to see how far the green was off its cushion, and B, to see whether the brown was clippable. I mean, I'm sure Ronnie must have thought he was going to run behind the green, but he's decided on something different.
Well, not something different. Basically, was just to put the brown in a safe position. There's only 29 points in it, so you never know. If Ronnie got a chance, Mark Selby would also need that brown. That's what we were. Well, I think that's what I'd have played.
If it'd been 45 or 50 in front, John, I would have agreed with you know, with Mark, put a brown safe. But as you rightly say, only 29 in front. I think your shot was a better choice.
That's a better shot from Ronnie. Beautiful length of the cue ball. Makes all the difference. Got that safety shot much too thin, but the blue slowed the cue ball down somewhat. I mean, you could see the red down the left-hand side into the left-hand pocket as a choice, but the black's not available into the right corner, so no value in playing that. So just a safety. Not tight to the balk cushion, but close enough to make the shot of Mark Selby's difficult.
Well, it's a good job the blue came to the rescue there, because that white would have been past the baulk line and Ronnie could have played a clip. Ronnie will be playing him behind the blue here off 3 cushions. It's all about getting the weight right with this shot. It's a big target when playing it around the 3 cushions rather than 2. Well, as you can clearly see there, we've talked about Ronnie's cue, and that's the one shot we've been saying that's causing him a few problems. When he's playing safe, the amount of side he gets on sometimes is not correct.
Yeah, and if Mark Selby can knock this red in, give him a frame-winning chance. Well, good chance missed.
What a lovely green for Selby supporters. This redwood's cuttable without the green being there. If he plays it now, he's going to be hampered. Having to cue down over the green, it's going to be tough.
So Ronnie playing the safety, a similar type of safety he played before. Now he caught it too thin before, playing it with left-hand side. Too thin again. Well, a nice little flick off the yellow. That helped.
Oh, Mark Selby this time faced with a similar shot. It's a little bit more difficult for Mark because he can't really impart the side and he wants, because he's queuing down. See if Mark can play the shot right. This is the 3rd try at this same shot. Mark Selby's played it perfectly. Albeit probably just 2 or 3 inches shy of pace. Got the line right there. Ronnie could take this on. The cue ball would be in a similar position to what it is now, should it go in.
Good pot. One. Now if that cue ball stays away from the cushion, which it has done, there's a chance of the yellow or the blue. The problem with the blue, it looks to be the natural potting angle. If you pot the blue, you could run into the green and stop the cue ball coming back down to this end of the table. If that is the case, then he'd play the yellow. Well, he judged it well to avoid the kiss on the green.
6.
He's not inch perfect though.
Well, he really wants to play the clip, doesn't he? But he, as you can see, is not happy with the extended rest. And the cue, he's just extended the cue a little bit more. He'd like to play it without the rest, obviously, because he could play it a lot slower and probably guarantee to be on blue or pink. Whereas with the rest, he felt he couldn't. He's played that lovely. If the red above the black pots, this is a chance to get right back into this frame.
Yes, looks as though
7.
it does, and he's perfect on the blue. You put nothing past Ronnie, but to win the frame at this visit would be
12.
some feat. Awkward reds, brown obviously awkward. Straighter on this red, he just rolled it in for the black. Now may have to play for the pink.
Yes, and we question Mark's, or sorry, I question Mark's choice of putting the black safe, but doing
13.
my maths now, Ronnie's still going to need the brown, so perhaps it was the right shot putting the brown safe, but I think the snooker behind the green would have been slightly better at the time.
Well, he's left himself a little bit awkward here. He wanted to be straight on this red he's going to play, not a half ball shot into a blind pocket. Made it look so easy, and sometimes we don't even notice now. He switched hands and played it left-handed.
Yeah, I think with the rest, John, that would have been definitely missable, but as you rightly say, left-handed, it's such an asset.
So that's the easier 26. Of the two remaining reds. Just a quick glance at the scoreboard. He's reduced his arrears now to 3 points. And he's wondering whether 2 reds, 2 blacks, he wouldn't need the brown, but he will need the brown.
I think
he just had half a thought there that he may just cannon into that red on the side cushion. So that's why he injected a little bit more pace in the cue ball, but once he didn't get the cannon, this black is thinner than he intended. But once again, playing it left-handed.
34.
With a glance at the scoreboard, it hasn't changed, Ron. You're still going to need the awkward brown. And the awkward red.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 34.
Well, concentrated so much on finishing perfect on the black, just forgot about the red. That was unmissable for somebody of Ronnie's class. It's just a little bit careless. Luckily for Ronnie, the reds ran safe. I'm sure Ronnie was as surprised as anybody who missed that red.
Yep.
Yeah, funny enough, he missed a similar red in the first frame. It didn't matter in the first frame because he was at the snooker's required stage. But it just shows you can't pinch too much on these pockets. The only reason he missed it was trying to get the cue ball away from the side cushion. Good length. Yeah, we're just talking about, this was the first frame. That one he was just trying to roll it in dead weight. As I say, the frame was all, but that one he's just trying to get the cue ball away from the side cushion to make the black easier.
Yes, very similar, weren't they? And one a little bit more costly than the other. In saying that, this might be replaced unless it leaves a free ball. I don't know whether it's more, it might be more difficult to play safe from there, to be honest, rather than where it was. Ronnie's just having thoughts about the same thing.
Yeah, well, maybe Ronnie can't know exactly where the cue ball was.
You want it back, Ronnie?
Yeah, he's having it put back. I think this is slightly more awkward because he just can't get his bridge hand where he would normally have it. Just slightly hampered by the black. And you've got to make certain you push that cue through straight, otherwise you could foul it. This time much too thick. Is it going in or over the middle? Is it going in?
Now there's a bit of mileage here in playing the kiss the brown now. Pop the red in the middle, come off the top cushion, play at the pace to kiss the brown. If you miss the kiss on the brown, you're still in open play and could be on brown, blue or pink.
Well, the other way is to play for the black off this red, and then he'd only need the yellow and green. That's what he's looking at. He's got a 9-point lead.
Yes, I forgot about the 4 penalty points, so that's probably better, isn't it, playing for the black? Yes, that 4 points they give away. Whatever he's played, he's not played well. Because now the brown comes back into the equation. surprising mistake from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
10 points the lead. Now remember, if he pots the yellow will come back on its spot because he's potting the yellow after a red. And he had a quick glance to see where he'd like to leave the angle on the cue ball, the cue ball, to pot the green and drop behind the brown, or maybe disturb the brown. He's looking for yellow, green and brown.
I think he's decided he wants to get as near as the top cushion as he can, but
5.
couldn't do it, so green to brown was always going to be the ball, wasn't it? Is he going to get close enough to make it an easy pot?
Yeah, that's the key, Will, isn't it? Get as close to the brown as he possibly can off this green. Doesn't want to be netted. Oh, well, that was a nice little... Well, I honestly think if he doesn't catch the bump of the middle pocket, I don't think he'd have been on this brown. I think he'd have nestled right up to the brown. That little bump gives him a chance. Only needs the brown, remember. He's taking it on. It's not there, and he's left it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 8.
He probably thought if he got close to the pocket, rattle the jaws, it would run along the top cushion, but it hasn't. Mark Selby needs the 4 remaining colours.
Well, it possibly may not matter now, but I go back to the last red when Ronnie's got the red over the middle pocket. Surely he must have misread the scoreboard not to play for the black off the last red. Or even the pink, because it would have been Snooker's required stage now. But he's been given another chance.
Well, it was always a dangerous shot, that. Putting the brown, putting it like that towards the corner pocket. He's got a pretty good length with the cue ball, and this looks very straight. And if it is, it's hard to see how Mark Selby can get a good safety shot here. Wouldn't want to be playing the pot on the brown, but sometimes if the safety's no easier, why not go for it?
Yes, if he decides to play off the top cushion with left-hand side, trying to get it safe, he's going to be very lucky not to leave a pot on the brown. So here's what Hawkeye's shown you. It's just about dead straight. The only problem if he plays the pot, John, the white's going to hit the jaws and he's going to have no shot on the blue, is there? That's the problem.
Yeah, but as I say, I don't see an easy safety. He's looking to come off cushion first. Now is he playing the pot or the safety? He's played the pot, and he's played it absolutely perfect. What a shot. As I say, that's the problem. You don't see a safety, it forces your opponent into the pot, and he couldn't have played it better.
Well, that's up there, one of the best shots I've ever seen. To play it at that pace and to judge it right, 3-1 behind with possible 4-1 behind staring you in the face. First class.
Well, Ronnie had his chance. Well, you won't see many 22 breaks better than that. What a brown. Both players leaving the arena. I know he'll be feeling happier. Mark Selby has reduced his arrears as we watch this fantastic pot again. He's just 1 frame behind now, 3-2.
And what an important frame that could be for Mark Selby. It was basically a tale of 2 shot selections. It was a brown ball game on the nose, really, Steve.
Well, yes, I mean, what a fantastic shot from Mark Selby. And, of course, earlier in the frame, he chose to put that brown safe, didn't he, Ken? Here's the situation. We won't run anything yet. In the commentary box, everybody's discussing, what do? Do you play off the back cushion, roll up behind the green, and try and get a good snooker and force your opponent to make a mistake and then pot the rest of the balls? Or do you say you sacrifice the safety play a little bit to put the brown safe in this to make the clearance harder should your opponent get back in? Lots of discussions. Obviously, as we know, Mark Selby played this shot. He put the brown safe on the side cushion. What do you reckon, Ken? It was a tough one, wasn't it, shot selection-wise?
Yeah, well, I mean, it turned out to be the insurance that he needed. But to be honest, I thought it was the wrong shot at the time. He could have easily played a snooker behind the green and covered Ronnie on all the balls. It turned out that Ronnie did have a chance at the brown, and if he had have got in behind it instead of hitting the knuckle, he may have won the frame. So, I mean, but the shot he played on the brown was just amazing. He couldn't really play this full ball. He had to come off the cushion, which made it so much more difficult. And just watch this, to judge that and to make a great clearance, that was fantastic. And it's got him back in this match. 4-1, it's a little bit difficult, but he's well back in the match now. And what a brilliant shot that was.
How much pressure on that shot, Steve?
What, loads of pressure on that shot. He couldn't do much else to try to pot it. But what probably the most exciting frame of the final so far, and the most important, because you know full well how important the frame is and how desperate both players wanted to win it by the fact they both walked out afterwards.
Indeed.
Thank you, frame 6.
Well, it's a different story for Mark Selby. Last year in this final, he beat Stephen Lee by 10 frames to 3. He wasn't really troubled, but he's really having to scrap to try and retain his title here.
And in some ways, Hazel and the boys, I'm sure, will agree. For me, that's the biggest frame in the afternoon so far, because 4-1 behind, he may have started to doubt himself a little bit. I mean, I hate to harp on about the brown, but I don't know how he finished on the right-hand side of the blue. I mean, hit cushion first. It was just so pure the way he hit it. You'd think playing cushion first, it would have gone to the left-hand side of the blue. We're going to show you this one more time. Now, once he's hit cushion first, you'd have thought the white would have gone left-hand side of the blue, but he hit it so good and come right-hand side of the blue. It was an incredible shot. Now, if this wasn't on the cushion, Ronnie could get round the back of the black. The fact it's on the cushion. Is he decided to take it on or just playing the safety? He's queuing down as if he wants to play the pot. No, just playing the safety. We just saw that white pull out a little bit there, but that's just the iron mark and things there that probably just drifted a little fraction. We just watch it pull up. It's in the centre of the pocket. It wasn't never going to reach the pocket. Then all of a sudden, a little rock to the right. Made no difference there. Such is Mark Selby's prowess in the safety department now. His highest break in that last frame was the 22 he made to clear up. Usually we talk about frame winning contributions being 70 or 80, but John mentioned in commentary and closing the frame one of the best 22 breaks he'd seen, and I couldn't agree with him more. I can't think of too many players that could compete with Ronnie O'Sullivan in the safety department. The first one that springs to mind would, of course, be John Higgins.
Selby.
But Selby can certainly compete with him. And I think in my humble opinion, that's going to be the key to this match, John, is whether Selby can keep Ronnie out, because in the balls, obviously Ronnie at the moment is the best player in the world, and we know break building wise he's probably going to score more than Mark, so I think the safety play is going to be key in this match.
Well, you said it after the last frame, that was a big frame. You know, if Ronnie had taken it and gone 4-1 in front, he could have started been thinking, because Ronnie isn't going to start looking round when he sees the winning line. And it's frames like that can turn matches.
Do you think, John, when you're 4-1 in front, you probably play the odd shot that you might not play if it was 3-2, like, you know, you push the boat out a little bit more?
Well, not the way Ronnie's been playing in this tournament so far this week. He's kept it very tight and turned down as many long pots as I can ever remember. And if he'd have got a 3-frame advantage, it'd have taken some pegging back. He's trying this shot again. There's not much of a gap, is there? Found it. Where's the red going? Over the pocket. Where's the white going? The red's on.
Mark's just checking to see whether the black will pot into the left-hand corner. A similar shot as the... Well, obviously nowhere near as difficult as the brown, but if he wants to get on the black, he'll have to play cushion first again. Does that black pot at that view? I'm not so sure. We'll know after the pace he plays this. He thinks it does, so he's playing for the black.
1.
And I don't think he's on it.
No, and even if he could see it from there, does the black... Can he pot the black and not hit the red first? And a simultaneous contact between the black and the red would be called a foul. Jan Verhaas will be watching this very closely. Well, the referee was happy with it, and what a good pot it was. And the black, going back on its spot,
8.
is still available. There you saw it. Definitely black first.
9. 16. 17. 24. 25.
The way this match is panned out in this first session, you've got to take your hat off to Mark Selby. I've been watching the match shot for shot, and Mark's hardly been in the match. And all of a sudden, we're 40 points away from him levelling at 3-all.
32.
What a good match player this young man's become.
33. 40.
40. Ronnie sitting there. Of course, last night against Stephen Maguire, he was at the table practically all the match. Superb performance. He's going to have to sit now and probably reflect on the last frame. He had a chance at the brown. I mean, you have admired the shot that Mark played to pot the brown as well as anybody, but it was a frame that maybe he felt he should have won. And every chance now
47.
from 3-1 in front, you're going to be level at 3 apiece. which from the neutral's point of view, Willie, is just what we want. We need a good final. All that's been said about the game. We've got a tremendous atmosphere. And
48.
defending champion against the world champion. Couldn't be a better matchup.
Yes, I've got to be honest, before the match started, the way the two players had played throughout the tournament, I was favouring Ronnie to win the match relatively convincingly, but this young Selby, he never gives in and gives every shot as you'd expect, 110%. And it was the very good safety that got him in again with this chance, so he's competing with Ronnie in that department.
53. $54. $61.
65 points the lead. So a couple more reds needed to take him past the point where snookers will be required. Don't see a problem.
Thanks. 62.
This black to go 73 points in front, but still 75 left on the table as we look at the pot success. Nothing to split between them, 91% each. High standard as we expect. And nicely
69.
on the frame ball red.
Yes, very close in every department, and obviously after this frame going to be very close in the scoreline as well.
70.
This has been absolutely perfect snooker from Selby in the last frame and a half, and I say half because it wasn't until the latter half of the last frame that he took control.
75.
One of the stats that surprised me a little bit, John, we've showed a few of the stats there, is the average shot time that at this moment in time, we always thought that Ronnie would play as he normally does at a quicker pace. At this moment in time, he's playing at a slower pace. Mark Selby's playing at 26 seconds per shot, and Ronnie's at nearly 30, so there's obviously been a few predicaments Ronnie's been in. What a shame, though, we haven't had a century break there, because he dug really deep. He plays very well there, an excellent break of 76. Gets us all square at 3-all. Well, John, it was decision time earlier on. He outplayed Ronnie in the safety play, forced Ronnie into the mistake. The red went right over the hole, pots the red, then he was faced with the black. Now, decision time, he could see the green to play safe, decided to take the black on.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's got to do. I think every opportunity he's got to try and make the most of it, and he's quite capable, we know, and we've seen already, and particularly in his quarter-final match against Mark Allen, that the centuries were flying in, so he's got great confidence in his ability to make frame-winning contributions. But I would suggest, looking at that frame, what a confidence boost that fifth frame was, to win that as he did. So he's letting Ronnie know he's there. He's not going to go away.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
What's Ronnie's response?
Can see the edge of the pack. That looks like the one he's going to play. This red will probably free the black as well. I know the black's available in the right hand corner, but it may not have been in the left. It didn't quite make contact with the black, but once again a good reply from Mark Selby. Even as a junior, Mark Selby's safety game was always very, very good. When they used to play little challenge matches at my club, we had 4 or 5 pros at the time, and Mark never used to win the matches for money. They used to get out-potted and outscored, but if it was ever scrappy, he'd win every game. He's now brought that safety game to the professional ranks, and it's a lot of times reaping dividends, as it has done this afternoon. Won the safety battle again.
Looks a straightforward escape to come into the bottom of the cluster. Well, he's deciding to go the other way. No difference really, just aiming to get into the bottom of those reds. Very unlikely to leave anything.
Re-rack, yeah. Re-rack.
Well, they've gone for a re-rack. Neither player could see an end to that safety exchange, so a re-rack. I remember the old days. You'd get someone like Eddie Charlton that'd have been there for 3/4 of an hour, wouldn't he, tip-tapping?
And loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I'm not certain about the audience, but Eddie would. Anyway, that's the way to do it now. It was not going anywhere. So Jan Verhaas quickly has reset the balls. Let's try again.
Frame 7, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Well, not as good as break-off as normal. The only reason I'm saying that because it's the first time I think in the match he's stuck the thread out. The good thing, of course, is found the top cushion. If he hadn't have done, Mark would have taken this thread on. The fact that he's found the top cushion is the reason he's not. But he's going to have to find the top cushion himself, because Ronnie will take it on if he doesn't. He's had a bit of a result there. No matter how good you are, it's nice to have a good kiss now and again.
Foul.
Not much too thick.
Mark Selby 4.
Now has he left a long pot on for Mark Selby? Much too thick. A shake of the head from Ronnie. So Mark Selby feels that by putting this cue ball close up to the green, he can leave himself this red to the left corner just to run it through and play for the black in the opposite corner. Well, he would have been on the black, but he's missed the red and he's left it to the left middle.
Yeah, surprisingly a long way away with that one. With his hand on the table, I expected him to get closer than that, and then the red wouldn't have been over the middle. But the red's not quite as straightforward as it first looked, because he's hampered by the red with his cueing hand. There you can see he's going to have to cue slightly over that red. Still a red that shouldn't cause too many problems, but the positional side might not be perfect.
One.
Really stunning him to get close to the blue, but he's far enough away from the cush to do what he wants with this red. Sorry, with the blue. There appears to be only maybe 2 loose reds. The black's available, of course, so if you can get onto the black, you'll go into them very early. Well, if he's on that red, that's
6.
one of the best positional shots we've seen today. Played for choice of reds. There you can see below the pink, left and right were both on. Played for either of them, got on both.
Just squeezed through. Average shot time for Ronnie
7.
O'Sullivan, 29. It doesn't feel that long in between shots. Maybe just things have gone a little bit awkward. He'd had to give it an extra bit of due care and attention.
I think 3 or 4 occasions when he's in trouble, he was taking a minute and a half to sort
14.
it out, wasn't he? So that comes into consideration. I'm sure when in the balls, his average shot time would still probably be 18, 19 seconds. I think it's just the safety exchanges. He's had to think a little bit harder.
$15.
One shot away from making this a chance, isn't he? Just got to get an angle on the colour to bring reds into play. He played to nudge that red over the corner. It hasn't worked. He played a full ball kiss, got a half ball kiss, possibly end of break.
21. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 21.
Well, he pulled out a good safety, good length, but just looking back, when he potted the pink, he just wanted to kiss that red full in the face, and he caught it half ball, which is why he didn't knock it on. Hawkeye would have played it like that, and that's the correct way, and then of course be able to roll that red in beyond the black and a chance to open the other reds. But the thing I like about Ronnie, when he does play one of those shots, normally it gets to him a little bit, but he's not showing any tantrums. He's just accepting it and concentrating on the next shot.
Maybe he's expecting things not to go 100% well with it being this new cue, and maybe it's another challenge for him to play good safety. I agree with you. Normally a little bit of petulance gets in sometimes when things are not going as he plays, but it hasn't shown that as yet today. Mark had a bit of fortune there, of course, catching the jaw. He's not left Ronnie an easy safety shot now. He will have to bring reds into play, whichever ones he plays.
It's pretty good, that, and the reason it's good, I don't think Mark can play safe down the right half of the table as we look. And if he can't, if he tries to play safe down the left-hand side of the table, first of all he's got the pink he's got to avoid, the blue obviously on its spot and the red just below the blue, so he's got to catch this just right. Well, he caught it much too thick, and he's very fortunate to get back to the baulk area. And, well, that's a double whammy, hampering Ronnie as he's done all by the green. He's hit this all wrong, and somehow didn't kiss into another ball, and as I say, has left Ronnie hampered by the green. Need a bit of luck sometimes. He had it there.
When you consider the white's supposed to be about 2 inches away from the blue in playing safe, you can see the little wry smile there. Mark knows that we'll be talking about him in the commentary box. It doesn't matter how good you are, that little bit of run now and again, you need it. And this is tough now to get safe. If he wasn't hampered, he'd definitely be able to get safe. But it's 50-50 here whether he leaves the red on.
I just wonder if he's thinking about taking the pot on here. Well, the problem is with this that I think he's got a red that he can play a pot. I think he can get through to that red I've circled to play the pot. The only reason I suggest it is because I don't see the safety shot being any easier or any more dangerous. At least if you play the pot and the red goes in, you play the next shot.
Looks like he's decided to play the safety, but I can't see how he can miss the kiss on the 3 reds on the right hand side on the way back.
Sorry.
There was a foul there, obviously he touched the green, but he's got a good, decent white.
Yes, he just fouled the green as he was pushing the cue through. Let's see if we can detect it. Yes, there you go. Hardly moved, but eagle eye Jan Verhaas, he spotted it. Good pot and a nice little help off the knuckle of the middle pocket. Has brought the cue ball away from the cushion and nicely on a baulk colour. But if the balls are running nice for you, take advantage of them. You can soon change.
Well, that's a mistake. Without the kiss on the blue, these reds would have been unmissable. He'd have been on choice of red. The fact that he's going to have to use the rest now and put some action onto it. If he misses the kiss on the blue, you see it's very close and get top side of the blue without a problem. It's tough to get top side of the blue with the rest. He may be able to screw across and get a little bit close to the pink. I don't know how straight this red is. Well, maybe he might be playing for the pink here. The fact that the blue's off its spot meant that he could get on the blue as well, and that was played beautifully. That was a really good rest shot.
Not the best table to make a frame-winning contribution because of the black being tied up. Well, that wasn't a bad idea. Cannon into those reds, clear the pink spot somewhat. So 11. If he can at some time get position on the pink, it'll go on its spot and be nicely in the open. Couldn't 12. Play for the pink that time around, but perfect on the blue.
Mark Selby strikes the
17
front in this match. First frame he got in first before Ronnie made this 68 break to win the frame. This is the first time he's been in front of the match since then, and what an important time to do in the last but one frame before of the first session. If he gets out of this session 4-4 or 5-3 in front, it will be a fantastic performance.
23.
O'Sullivan outplayed him in the first part of the match. Selby is now outplaying Ronnie O'Sullivan.
24.
Has to be said though, he's had a bit of fortune this frame.
A little bit careless not to get the right angle on the blue here. Hawkeye shows you need to be another 6 inches further to the right. So going away from the reds, playing it this way. So running in and out of balk.
29.
Well, you may think he could have got there if he just rolled the blue in, but obviously he was hoping to get a bit more pace in that cue ball. He's still on this red to the right corner, the one that's closest to the top cushion. "16 points to lead now." Well, he's playing this one, and in potting this, he could cannon into the other red. Although whether that will knock him off position. No, he avoided the cannon. Good pot. Wasn't really bothered what colour he was on. The red was important and went in clean as a whistle. Well, he's into the match now. He did say in his first few matches that the opening frames he was feeling very nervous, and maybe that was the case in this match. But he looks to have settled in now, although once again disappointed with the pace in the cue ball. Wrong side of the blue.
As choice of ways of playing the blue, he can go in between green and brown with position, or in between the brown and yellow. It's just turned which way he feels will avail the perfect position. Decided to play in between green and brown, and this is excellent. That's a good shot.
Yes, an important red this, because once he pots this red, the red that's immediately above the black will become potable in this right corner pocket. It's still going to be a good break to win the frame at this visit. All this time in an effort to make certain he got the right angle on the blue. He's hit it far too hard. Now it all depends. There's one red, and that's the one immediately above the black that's available only into the right corner pocket. Has he got an angle on this yellow to get down for this red? That's where he needed to finish, somewhere on that line, and couldn't have played it better. It's a frame-winning chance now.
Yeah, the reason John said couldn't have played it better because he's got the angle to flick the other red away from the black, and this never ever looked like a possible chance to win the frame. It might not still be because he played that poorly. That's the worst shot he's played in this break. That was straightforward to flick that red away and leave a nice angle. He's running away from the red, of course. 37 in front, he still needs another red, and that wasn't the bad shot, it was the shot before. I think he got so excited that he played it to the inch, the previous red. He didn't concentrate on the kiss, John.
Yeah, this was it. Okay, he developed the black, but if he'd have caught the red forward, he'd been straighter on the black, he'd have nudged that red away from the black, and he could have played for that red. He missed the cannon. There you see it, 37 ahead, but still 51 remaining. And all the colours in the open. I know the reds are awkward, but there's plenty of snooker left in this frame.
Well, that was one of the best 50 breaks you're likely to see in any tournament. He did that without pink or black. And John mentioned the reds were safe, but you knew that Ronnie's going to bring them out at the first opportunity, and there's the first opportunity, but he has left a shot to nothing, which could win in the frame. Red and sizable colour. It'll be 4-3 to Selby. Big shot, this one.
Always amazes me when someone misses a shot and then they shout, "Come on, Ronnie," and he's not going to come on too far from where that cue ball is. But he can't afford another mistake in this frame. This safety shot has got to be right. It's a terrific shot. He needs a good length for that cue ball. Is it going to run to the baulk cushion? And the reason I say that, because this red is potable to the right corner. But it could be too straight for Mark Selby to play it. Well, there's a slight angle according to Hawkeye.
Yes, the angle we showed you on Hawkeye was just off straight, and there you can see from that camera angle it is just off straight, but can't get the pace in the cue ball to get a good white, so he's playing the... He might be playing the thin pop. The key thing is to get a good white. Always he's butchered it. Goodness me, that was one of my safeties, that one. That could be very costly.
I'm a little bit surprised he turned down the possible pot to the right corner.
One.
So this could be a big frame. We said frame 5 was. Mark Selby looked in control, just played a poor positional shot. Obviously the red along the top cushion is the awkward one. So it's imperative that Ronnie, in potting this red, gets a good angle on the black.
8.
And I don't think he has. I think it's only the snooker going to be available after this black. Well, Selby played a terrible shot earlier on. Ronnie, if you're going to have to play this with a lot of side, John, to get onto this last red.
Yeah, and I don't think he'll be wanting to do that. Even straighter on the black, he could have rolled the black in and been nicely on this red. Because it's a tough red along the top cushion. You'd want to be close to it. He's eyeing up the pink now.
This is missable if he plays this screw back.
That's what he's played, just to roll the black in and play the snooker on the last red.
15.
So, whoever pots this last red, you would suggest is going to win the frame. Who is it going to be? O'Sullivan favourite at the moment.
15.
Yes, even though Ronnie is 22 points in arrears, with all the colours on the spots, you'd expect to, as you say, Willie, whoever pots the red will be the winner. But what an important frame this is now. One of these frames that we do say can turn a match. Mark Selby always looked in control, but he's not at the moment.
There's just enough room to go 2 cushions here. If he hits it 1 cushion, he'll do well to get it safe. He's played the 1 cushion, now has he got it safe? Has he got it safe? You betcha. Ronnie's looking at the cutting angle. Is this worth the risk? I think if you can guarantee getting the red away from the pocket, yes, play the cut, but how hard would he have to hit it to do that? Yes, he's got the red away from the pocket, and that was the key thing. And without the jaws, he would have had Mark in trouble there. That would have been in behind yellow and brown. That was nearly excellent. If you play the little thin safety shot to push the red along the cushion, it's dangerous, so you might be playing the red into the black to slow it down and then get the good white. Well, he's played the thin one, that was always dangerous, but played it beautifully. Played it really well. Excellent shot. I know the jaws have helped, but I think, John, it would have been a snooker anyway.
Well, it might have been a snooker, but it wouldn't have been as tough as this one. Dear me, that was a lovely bump. So at the moment, you'd have to say just that little kind run of the balls helping Mark. But it could all turn round this evening. I mean, if he'd have finished, if he hadn't have hit the bump, it'd have been an easy escape off one cushion. He's coming off 2 cushions. He's got to hit this. He's got to hit it. Because if he doesn't hit it, it's a free ball.
Foul.
And if it's a free ball,
Mark Selby 4.
then Ronnie in big trouble. Miscalled.
Yes, you've got to have a go at the brown here as the free ball. It's pointless putting it back in case Ronnie gets the shot right and snookers you. So you've got to take the chance of brown as a red and then try and get onto another red. He's 26 in front.
Well, 26 in front. You've got to play the brown. If you miss the brown, then you're not going to snooker, Ronnie. I don't know. I suppose you wouldn't want to have it replaced because, as you say, Willie, if he did hit it full ball, he could get the snooker while he's playing the brown. He's not got it, so therefore Ronnie comes back to the table, not snookered.
Even there, Johnny's played a clever shot, hasn't he? I don't know whether he imagined the white would leave hampered queuing on the yellow, but that takes out the easy safety shot from Ronnie, the fact that he can't queue down on it. So even that was a clever little shot that Mark played. Okay, he should have probably potted the brown, but he knew it was risky. And because he was hampered, he almost forced an error from O'Sullivan. I thought for a moment it would have been cuttable, but it's not. Another big plus of not having the balls replaced is where that Ronnie put the green when playing that out of the snookers, pushed the green safe. That's in Mark's favour. I think he did play behind the pink there, pink or black.
Superb shot. And Ronnie, easy hit you think, but can he get the red safe? Oh, well, I said an easy hit. Has he got it this time?
I thought it did. It did hit it.
Well, they're saying it did hit the first time. Well, we're going to have a look on the slow motion replay here.
It must have been tough, John, because we didn't see it live, did we?
Yeah, here we go.
Well, both players agreed, the referee agreed. It, didn't hit on the second time, and we just looked at it in slow-mo and didn't feel he hit it on the first time. But
well, that was a great escape from Ronnie, and if that red runs on, he might now have got the advantage in this safety exchange. No, well, when Mark Selby was coming to the table, he turned to Jan Verhaas. He said, and I distinctly heard him say, he hit it the first time, didn't he? And Jan said yes.
But we've just seen it in slow-mo. It didn't appear to hit, and in fairness, it would have been replaced, wouldn't it? And Mark Selby wouldn't have been in the mess he's in now. We'll get a chance sometime to show you that again, but it's very sporting of Mark to suggest it hit it when we're not sure it did.
Well, we'll have another look. Well, it's hard to say, but I think it did hit the red there. Well, long way away with that, Ronnie. And that could be very costly if this red passes the blue. £26 points the lead. Just a red and a colour needed to take the lead. Does pass the blue. Well, frame ball that was. You cannot afford to miss chances like that, Mark.
How big a pot could that turn out to be in the context of who's going to win this match? Obviously, Selby still favourite to win this frame where the green is, but this red is not straightforward. He's hampered queuing over the brown, so this is missable. If he wasn't hampered, he couldn't miss that by chance.
No, absolutely. So even though Mark missed that red, he was very lucky there to leave Ronnie hampered by the brown. The run of the balls, you have to say at the moment, are favouring the young man from Leicester. No mistake with the red that time, and he'll just be hoping he's not going to be hampered by the green. Just the brown needed.
Well, he's obviously in a position where Ronnie needs snookers. Ronnie's already got one, so but it looks relatively straightforward off the top cushion. Ronnie will carry on, of course. There's only one snooker needed. Where's the white? You never know at this game. So once again we talk about that's not the bad shot, it's the shot before, and there was another case of the shot before. Played the brown so carelessly when he can finish anywhere to see the yellow, and he just concentrated on the brown and snookered himself. You never know. It's never over till the fat lady sings, John, apparently.
Not the best safety shot, that, from Ronnie. To leave even a chance of a pot was not his intention. So Mark Selby, I was saying, had the run of the ball. Maybe the run of the ball just deserted him there when he hit the yellow and went in off. But there's yellow, and he's getting himself ready. This to leave Ronnie needing a snooker. Good pot. Terrific pot. Knew the importance of that. He didn't want to miss another chance.
Yes, he looked up to the heavens as the yellow disappeared. He knew how important that was in context of possibly winning this match.
Mark Selby, 2.
Didn't want to risk rolling the green along the baulk cushion in case it didn't go in. Then Ronnie could, of course, potted it and then gone about trying to get the snooker he needs. Needs one 4-point snooker to tie. And just the last few shots, or this frame in particular, some loose safety shots from Ronnie.
Isn't it funny, John? Over the years we see it so many times. If you needed that green to win the frame and it knocked it in, the fact that his opponent needs snookers, it always seems a bit harder to knock the ball in. And where pink and black are, these are not in bad positions for snookers. But another bad one from Ronnie.
Yeah, it was a good chance to get that cue ball in behind the pink. Not close, in all honesty. Well, he's got the double kiss there, and having got the double kiss, he's quite fortunate to leave this cue ball near the top cushion. This frame now in its 32nd minute. It's been a scrappy one, there's no doubt about that. but it will come to an end if Mark Selby can now knock this green in. Well, he's determined to give Ronnie a chance. Now, I don't know whether Ronnie decides to pot this screen and try and play a snooker off the brown behind the black. If he could get the cue ball somewhere in the circle, and then he could have a great chance of laying that cue ball tight up behind the black off the brown. You've got to make the snookers difficult at this level.
3.
No, it's not bad. It depends how quick. Well, he's getting down pretty quick, so he must have landed pretty good on this brown. Nestle up behind the black if he can.
Sullivan 3.
If the one cushion escape is not on, this is going to be tough to hit. I think that cue ball, if it went another half an inch, this little swerve shot wouldn't have been on. You see, he's going to... Oh, little swerve shot. He's having to play a big one. There's room to go around the back of this. He's got to be careful. Very well done. Ronnie needed a half an inch more of pace, and that would have been a real tough one to hit. He still played it well. The wry smile tells you he thinks he played it well.
That will be his last shot in this frame. He tried to pop the brown there, and Ronnie's conceded. So Ronnie O'Sullivan led 2-0, 3-1, but he now trails 4-3.
And so for the first time in this final, it's Selby, the defending champion, who is ahead. And I wonder, guys, what's made the difference to the way Selby's approached this final and his success in this final since the interval?
Well, one thing you could say about Mark Selby, he's a fighter. We've been shown that already in the world of snooker. Things have conspired a little bit towards Ronnie O'Sullivan's downward spiral in this match. A few knuckles of the middle pocket have come into the equation. Some safety shots have gone in favour of Mark Selby. But it does take two players into the equation, and without Mark Selby playing well and potting balls, he doesn't get back in the match.
How subdued, relatively speaking, do you think Ronnie is now looking?
He does look a little bit subdued, doesn't he? But isn't it fascinating to see such a great frame like that? I mean, we've talked about the records and the century breaks, but isn't it fascinating to see a frame like that and see the both players missing and the pressure that's out there? You know, that's the great thing about snooker sometimes, and the crowd getting so involved with the U's and A's. But it's Ronnie has seemed to drop his level slightly, but that's because Mark has put him under pressure and he's come back fighting, and it's shaping up to be a fascinating match. And
what has shaped up has been the key frame, frame 5, and the brown that Selby potted. The more we look back on that, the more that's looking very good indeed for Mark Selby.
Yes, certainly, and the more frames that go close, that a player wins that the other guy thinks that possibly he should have won or had a chance in, the more that can be debilitating for the players on the receiving end. Ronnie played a loose safety shot, but I think what's happened is he's lost the momentum in the match. And sometimes you need confirmation, not just from your own abilities, but also that the balls go in your direction, go your way, and that helps you to sort of keep a positive attitude. It's not easy when all of a sudden a few things go wrong to keep your finger on the pulse of the game and to keep your foot, as I say, on the other guy's neck, because at the start it looked like he completely had closed the door on Mark Selby.
It did, yes. But we have one more to go before the end of this afternoon session. Those of you waiting for Ski Sunday, it is coming along. It will be along once we have completed this frame.
Oh, Ronnie's been on a slippery slope himself, hasn't he, in the last 3 frames? And the key to this match has been the close frames. There's only been 2 of them. Selby's won them both. So does that tell us that Selby's going to win all the scrappy frames and Ronnie's going to win all the open ones? Long pot on. No colour bar, blue or bought colour available. The beauty of O'Sullivan is you would never know he'd just lost a frame he perhaps feels he should win, because he just gets down the next frame and plays as if it's the opening frame of the match. Beautiful pot. Mark Selby 1 in every 2. Ronnie a little bit better, almost 2 out of
5.
3. Depending on where the pink spot is, to whether he decides to play on the pink early, because the pink's available. Doesn't want to tie it up though at this moment, unless he can bring reds into
6.
play, and he may have played that perfect. He may have played that with an angle to be able to bring other reds into play, i.e. clear the pink spot. And he can't clear the pink spot, so we've got still a little bit of more work to do. Where's the pink going to go? Behind its own spot. There's no room for the pink to go on its own spot. I thought for a moment, looking at that picture, the pink would have spotted. Obviously not. No, is that in line? It looks a little bit to the left to me.
Okay. 12.
This the key shot. Got to be top side and into them.
13.
Gone too far. He gets the angle on the red, it'd be try number 2, but he hasn't got the angle on the red. That could
16.
could honestly turn out in his favour, this, because he could now play the screw off the edge of the pack. As you see, he didn't want to kiss the blue, as we show you that shot again. If he plays the screw it in and flicks off the bunch, he could bring the pink into play and be on blue or bought colour. It could turn out in his favour, but it's missable. It was always missable.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 16.
Yeah, and at full stretch, reaching over the brown, he was never looked comfortable to me. So it's a let-off, Mark Selby will be thinking. The way the frames have gone this week in the matches, with so many big breaks, if your opponent doesn't make 60 or 70 when they pot the first red, you feel as though you've been let off. Good pot from Mark. Now, well,
1.
I think he's just about on the brown. There's 1, 2 loose reds, but maybe a bit of value here in playing the brown and going into the cluster. Well, did those reds move?
Five.
Just needed a bit more side on. That was all.
Yes, or a fraction slower to give the side time to take. He did hit it very, very hard, that one.
Mark Selby 5.
It was a chance that's been missed. So both players have had an opening chance in this frame. A frame that's obviously more important for O'Sullivan than for Mark, because Mark, even at 4-4, he'll be delighted with his afternoon's work. He'll be doing cartwheels if he can win all 4 of this session and come out of it 5-3, having trailed 3-1 at the interval. When was the last time you did a cartwheel, JV?
Yeah, I haven't done many, Willie, over the years. Maybe in '99 when Man United won the treble in Stadium, the new camp, wasn't it?
What part of London do you live, John?
Not a good safety shot though, once again from Ronnie. For some reason he's just catching the bought colours. He was getting a good length, particularly in his match last night. Every time he played safe, as though it was glued to the bought cushion. But hand on the table, chance of a pot, and if not, an easy return to baulk. And this is good. Ronnie with a big problem here. Couldn't have worked out better, but that is the difference. If you leave your opponent with his hand on the table, you can expect the worst. Trying to rest on these two reds that are just to the left of the black. He's got to miss the blue. He's done that. Good line. Good length. Good hit. Well, he's giving this thought. The importance of this frame to Mark Selby, you know, you can understand 3-1 down to finish this session 5-3 in front. He would really take some positive vibes back to his hotel room. And Ronnie, on the other hand, well, he'd be very disappointed to lose 4 frames on the trot. You never saw that coming the way he's been playing in this tournament. All depends really on this safety exchange. Who's going to force the error? Who's going to play that good safety? Mark Selby did, but Ronnie escaped. Well, that's what Ronnie can see. And Hawkeye and his... I think he's a bit concerned. Let's have another look at Hawkeye. You see, he can get past the blue, but he's frightened of leaving that red to the right corner. He doesn't feel as though he can hit the reds thin enough to come back behind the green, as we saw Mark Selby do a few shots ago. And he feels as if he doesn't get down the right-hand side of the table, he's going to leave this red on.
But where the pink and black are, John, wouldn't you be thinking, well, as long as I get a good pace of cue ball, I don't mind him having a go at that red?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, Willie. Don't over-egg the pudding.
Don't over-egg the pudding. It's one I've not heard before, but I'm sure we'll work it out eventually.
Well, don't look for problems that are there. I mean, he's given a lot of thought to this. We're coming up to 2.5 minutes. He's got a straightforward safety shot down the right-hand side of the table. Maybe he's trying to make it too perfect.
Yeah, I've just asked John JV to put a little circle in for me as Ronnie's having another little think there. If he played this safety shot and put the white anywhere in that circle, wouldn't you want him to have a go at that red, John?
Yeah, I'm not certain he can get to the circle, but yeah, I mean, if he gets a good length with the cue ball, then I can only assume the red on the left-hand side of the table is the one that's causing him concern. but I have to say, not 3.5 minutes worth.
Goes without saying, this is a massive frame for O'Sullivan. He'll be so disappointed to have led 3-1 and let it slip. Well, he's decided to play the half ball safety. He could hit the blue here on the way back. He's got to be careful. Got to be careful. Well, if he misses the yellow, this is first class. That's as good as he could have played. The only other concern I've got, John, I'm just wondering whether there's a plant on in that group of 5, but it doesn't look like there is, so I don't know quite. It was a great shot he played.
No, he thought long and hard, nearly 4 minutes. I've not seen Ronnie take that long over many shots, but the red I thought he was concerned about, he has left. And Mark Selby has knocked it in. So Ronnie was right to be concerned.
Very unlucky in his safety escape, though, that he hit the yellow the way he did, because that shot to nothing wouldn't have been on. I mean, if he'd have kissed the yellow full ball, it wouldn't have been on. The fact that he kissed it half ball left it on for the run through. But still, a fantastic pot. Where pink and black are tough to win the frame at this visit, but boy, you can get a sizable lead. It's all about when he gets pink and black into play.
5.
How soon will it be?
Six. $12. $13.
Now, is it decision time? Which do you bring into play? Do you try and bring the black into play by playing the cannon, or do you try and go 2 cushions into the bunch to bring the pink into play? Choice of shots here, both of which are not straightforward. Well, this helps. If I didn't realise this red potted, and if he plays the deep screw, pink will come into play. There it is. It does pot.
18.
Deep screw with the reverse side, blue or bought colour. The bonus is if you get on the pink. Out comes the pink.
19.
Played for the blue, but second prize is there, the pink.
Yes, and the other bonus, of course, he was bringing those other reds into play. Maybe not as much as he would like, but well, he might have another chance. Oh no, he could just screw across the face of them for a red to the same pocket as the pink. Now, where's the pink go? It's okay.
5.
Worst way, it's available to the right middle pocket. This is a good chance. And these 3 reds now around the pink, all available. And the pink will put him 21 points in front. A real battling performance, this from Mark Selby.
32.
His favourite to take a 2-frame advantage into this evening's session.
Well, Steve Davis was the best all-round match player in the 80s and early 90s. John Higgins took that mantle over, going past the millennium. Is Mark Selby now becoming the best match player in the game? We know that he's beatable when people are playing well against him, because now and again he doesn't score as high as most, but
39.
tactically he's very, very good. And to take 4 frames off O'Sullivan playing well, because Ronnie hasn't played bad, he's just been kept off the board.
40.
This is first class.
Pink to go 35 points in front, so he's still looking for another couple of reds here. Just overcooked that slightly. Wanted to be straightish on this red. It's
46.
just a little bit awkward now, because the natural angling pot in this is going to run into the pink. So he's got to just judge the cannon and the path of the cue ball. And judged it
47.
well. A nice little cannon on the pink to develop it. 36 points in front. Pink will put in 42 points in front, with a possible 51 left. So after the pink, he still needs one more red and a colour.
Decided to play at pace, trying to risk something happening. This red's still on, and he can go up for one of the baulk colours without nudging into the other two reds. So 42-point
53.
lead. This is game ball. Whatever you do, don't kiss the red just above it. Play a shot to nothing. Play for probably green or yellow. Even the blue's not too bad. You see, he was trying to be too careful. Should have stunned it.
Selby, 53.
Made sure the red comes away from the pocket just in case. Boy, what a big frame this is now.
Yeah, and you could see his annoyance when he flopped down back in his seat. He knew that was a glorious opportunity. I think he played it that way, thinking he'd give it every chance to go in the pocket. He only needed that red and any colour, and look at him. That was a golden opportunity. As he let Ronnie off the hook, we'll see.
One.
Well, he won't mind that, Ronnie. He's finished absolutely inch perfect on this blue, and that was a tricky red to control the cue ball, and he couldn't have finished better. So, the first part, the first step, has gone well.
And there's plenty of room here to be on the outside red of the two. If he gets on a colour at a nice angle off
6.
this red, you fancy him to pinch the frame, and it would be a body blow if he did for Mark Selby. This is the key shot. It's not potting the red, it's getting the angle to get onto the last red. Potting the red shouldn't be a problem. Just finding the angle on a colour. Done that a few times today. I don't know whether he's got a bit of leather hanging away from the tip a little bit that's causing him a problem. In goes the red. Is the angle there? I don't
7.
think it is. On and off the cushion. Can he get close to the red from that angle? No. May play twice across here. May play this really at pace. He's played a kiss the black, and if he gets the kiss, what a shot. Oh! Can he see it? He actually kissed the
13.
black, John. Did that
Yeah, he
stop
didn't
him
play
getting
to
position?
kiss the black, did he? He just played to run past it. And I think he can just about get through to this red. I think if it had just run past the black, it'd have been inch perfect. But he just nudged the black, but I think there's enough room for the red. He couldn't do a lot with the cue ball. He knew by potting the red he was going to leave the black a little bit more difficult. So still another good shot needed to pot this black.
Well, the fact that the green's off its spot helped this shot. What a shot this is, by the way. What a shot.
21.
Absolutely top draw. And now a frame that he never looked like winning. Mark Selby was one pot away from winning it to level at 4 each.
23.
Well, Ken mentioned in the studio how nice it was to not see centuries every frame, because in some ways this has been a lot more exciting. These last 3 or 4 frames could have gone either way. All 4 could have gone to Selby. It looks like Only 3 of the 4, maybe now.
26.
Yeah, I always think in this clear, even though the balls are on the spot, this is the key shot from brown to blue. If he gets perfect on the blue, he cannot
30.
help but clear up. But he's run too far. He's run too far, so the cue ball's going to have to travel before it comes to rest on the pink.
As long as he avoids the enough in the middle. He may have played this a fraction too hard.
35.
He may have played this a fraction too hard. This is not over yet. This is tricky. I fancy him potting the pink, but not only is he going to pot the pink, it's a tough shot to get position on the black. He's going to have to play with a lot of screw and check side. It's there. It's there. Ronnie Sullivan has made plenty of clinching frame-winning contributions to Pink's frames. This will be up there with the best he's done for some time. Well, what a fantastic session of snooker. We've had everything. We've had the breaks, but what we've had are close frames. That's the first close one Ronnie O'Sullivan's won, and won it at the right time to keep himself all square in this match. What a session we're going to have this evening. It's 4-all.